Welcome back to the Superhero Bro Show. I'm Danny.
I'm Bryant. We made it.
Past week one.
We did it. Week one. Clips are uploaded on the internet.
Yep.
On Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're still trying to get on the Apple podcast. That one's a little bit trickier, but we're getting there. Slowly but surely. We're in week two.
Week two is crazy. Honestly, I didn't think we were going to make it past week one.
I didn't think we were going to make it to week one. So
it was funny when we first messaged each other, it was like still very on and off whether or not the podcast is going to get started. So,
and here we are, 2 episodes in.
Yep.
Looking to make a third next week. So I think that being said, you should know us by now. If you haven't, go watch our first episode. Then you'll know us pretty well. We're going to get straight into Kiwi news. This is the segment where I just read off new superhero news and we get our reactions from it. Basically, that's pretty simple. Going off of it, I know you haven't finished season 1 yet. You're still working on it. I've watched season 1 3 or 4 times now. Invincible season 2 released a trailer. Obviously, I'm sure you haven't watched it because you haven't finished season 1. The cast is stacked. We are getting so many new actors on this season. So many great actors on this season. We're getting Optimus Prime, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Peter Cullen is coming.
Yep.
So, I mean,
I did see that part.
Yeah, this season is going to be ridiculous. J.K. Simmons is awesome as Omni-Man. It's going to be great. I'm excited
Also,
for that.
Omni-Man in the new Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah. It's coming up.
Sick.
It's in here.
Omni-Man versus Homelanders. It's going to be sick.
It's in here. All right. Going off of that, the Marvels also had a trailer.
I haven't been able to see that one yet.
You haven't seen that one yet?
I have not seen that one yet either, unfortunately.
That's all right. Did you watch the first trailer for it? No. That's fair. That's fair for Captain Marvel too. I, on the other hand, have seen it. I think it's going to be better than the first movie. It actually looks somewhat promising, so I'm not putting it off yet. I'm like, okay, we can go and we can do this. I'm somewhat excited for this. I think it has potential.
No, you can't. There's no way you can build anything good off of what it started with.
So, Danny here is wrong. You finished Miss Marvel by chance?
No.
Okay, that's a good show. You should finish that.
It's a terrible show. Miss Marvel is a terrible show.
Secret Invasion. We're talking about that. We'll have a whole segment to Secret Invasion because that happened this week. Last episode just aired a little bit ago. That's also building into this movie. Mm-hmm. You're not excited whatsoever for this movie?
Not really. Maybe a little bit.
A little bit. You need to watch the trailers. We'll watch the trailers after this episode, and then we'll come back next.
Yep, we'll come back. Maybe we'll throw in a couple of clips later on.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a reaction or something. Coming back to something that happened last week, I mentioned how we were going to listen to some music after the podcast.
No.
We listened to the Reputation album.
We're not talking about this.
And I'm going to quote Danny here. It's not that bad.
Where's the proof? Where's the evidence?
I guess I should have recorded his reaction from behind the scenes, but I'm just saying, he said it wasn't that bad. I'll take that into Invincible. Have you heard Spider-Man's there's a chance he's going to show up in season 2?
I heard rumors about that, and if it does, that's just
stupid.
Yeah.
What? Why? Yes, I understand they're in a comic together, Invincible and Spider-Man.
But if he's in there, I think it's either going to be in the amazing, like the best, like cameo, I guess you could say, or it's going to be like just absolute, just
why?
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a great show. Why does it need it? I don't want it connected to this.
Yeah.
It's a separate thing. It does not need to be connected to this whatsoever.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
Josh Keaton is one of my favorite Spider-Man, even though he didn't make the list last week. I talked about putting him on the list, but he didn't make it last week. But just don't do that. Have him play some other character. It's stupid. It's really stupid. I just don't. He belongs in the Invincible universe. We're getting it. If we look at the comics for Invincible, those books are like this tall, just straight comics. If you look at season 1, we have scratched the surface. Like we're about, I think it's like 100 pages into all of this.
I will agree that it's definitely really early, so that would be something disappointing about it. Yeah. But I think scratching it out entirely is not something that we should do. I think it should be like maybe not right now is not the time.
Yeah.
But a couple seasons down here, we'll do it.
That I think the main villain for this season's a multiversal villain. So
yeah,
I don't know. They're even hinting at it themselves. In the trailer, there's a comic book in the background on like a phone, and it's the crossover comic with Spider-Man and Invincible. And they on the Twitter they said, "We don't know what you're talking about." That's all they said. Like,
Yeah.
it's don't do it.
I think if it's in there now, it'll ruin it.
Yeah, too soon. Into the MCU we go with Jonathan Majors is reportedly staying as Kang with all the physical assault charges, all that. Hopefully in the past, Jonathan Majors is reportedly staying as Kang.
I like his portrayal of the character.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's kind of where it gets hard, right? Because you separate an actor for something they did versus their art. Same thing with the discussion about Kanye last week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree or really like him as a person, but most of his music is pretty good to me. So like when it comes to that, I loved his portrayal of the character, so I'm really happy to see him stay.
And by the sounds of it, he didn't do anything wrong. It sounds the evidence that is coming out and that his lawyers are proving is that the girlfriend was assaulting him, and she said that she got so hurt that she couldn't do anything that night, and she was out clubbing that night using the hand that got injured.
Yeah,
it's not looking good for her in court, but it's not disproven.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's disproven. I'm just saying what the lawyer, Jonathan Majors' lawyers are saying about the case.
I just hope justice comes to whoever in that situation.
And if that means recasting Kang,
and recast him.
Might
be a little disappointing just because his portrayal was really good, but it's something I'll accept over.
Yeah, and he was the best thing about that movie.
Oh, 100%.
The best thing about that movie, carried that movie, even with the writing that he had. You're not the one with the hammer, are you?
Yeah.
I have my own opinions about Quantumania. We haven't seen the Kang I want to see yet, and I think he could be that great Kang. So
yeah, because like I said, he just did so well, and honestly, like you said, carried that movie. Yeah. So
we'll see.
I'm excited to see him.
Hopefully that's true, and he is staying as Kang. That's all. Unless obviously he did some bad things. So going into the next thing, Blue Beetle.
I am so excited for this movie.
I'm going to break your heart so much right now. James Gunn has come out and said Blue Beetle is no longer in the DC universe. It's going to be a standalone movie. After all this hype, it's the first DC universe movie. I think The Flash just ruined it, and they are just... Superman Legacy is going to be that first DC universe movie. Yeah. I knew this one was going to hit you. Let's cut from him just going, yes, Blue Beetle. I'm super excited for this movie.
It'll be a great clip.
You now just with your
It'll be a great clip for TikTok. Oh, bro.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. As of what my information, that's the news.
And then just so you guys know, he finds most of this news. I don't look into too much of the news because I want it to be like this reaction we have.
Yeah. That's disappointing, isn't it? But
Blue Beetle's like one of my favorite heroes from the DC.
I will say I trust in James Gunn on his decisions. If he decides that, I will oblige and go buy that,
You're going to like my hot take later.
Oh, gosh. I'm not sure I'm going to like it. Next up, Marvel Spider-Man 2 got a trailer, the video game on the PS5. Did you watch that at all? I know you've seen bits and pieces of
I've seen bits and pieces, and I've seen some of the villains, but not like...
It's just like a story trailer kind of going into it. Did you watch the first game? Any gameplay on that at all?
Yeah.
So that's my favorite game ever. Fun fact, the first Spider-Man game is my favorite game I've ever played. I 100%ed the whole game in one weekend. I have some news. My parents know this yet. My girlfriend is splitting. We just pre-ordered the Spider-Man 2 PS5 edition. So she's back. My mom's back there. Just got it. So I'm pre-ordering Spider-Man 2 right when I get that PS5. She didn't hear it. We're good. When she watches this podcast, I'm gonna be in trouble. But yeah, we're good. Because I just also had my Jeep fixed, $400 in the shop right now. So sweet. I'm stacking up money everywhere. Good thing I have 3 jobs.
Wait, was it at Ron's?
Yeah.
Dude, that's why I waited to drop off my dad's truck there this morning.
You see my Jeep at all?
Yeah, I saw your Jeep and I was like, wait, doesn't he work? Has he just been lying about working at his school? He just
my truck. I've been taking that everywhere. So yeah, 3 jobs. Make that up. Also, if you want to sign up for our Patreon, that will help us out too. We get stuff for this podcast. go to patreon.com/the Superhero Bro Show. Way to plug that in there.
Good plug.
Yeah, so I'm excited for the game. I think it's going to be just as good as the first one, if not better. So we'll see. I think, obviously, I'm going to pre-order then play that immediately when it comes out. Going into non-superhero, but a movie coming out, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited for that movie. This is going to get you a little bit, probably not as excited. The runtime has been revealed for how long the movie is. It's only an hour and 39 minutes.
I don't mind that.
You don't mind? You talked about this.
Because when my critique about Spider-Man was the fact that it's 2.5 hours long. Mm-hmm. Animated movies, for some reason, just don't hold my attention like that. So, like, when I watch an animated movie, I want it to be between, like, an hour and 20 to, like, an hour and 40 max.
See, I'm like, keep me invested, keep me there as long as possible. So that's just one thing we'll have different. I'm sure you like the Mario movie then. That was like...
Yeah, no, the Mario movie was great.
Fast
because it was literally like, oh, here's the commercial, and then bam, straight into the universe and everything like that. So no, I liked that, but I actually I'm excited for the time. You said hour 39. 39?
Yeah, I've seen some clips on it. It looks pretty funny. Seth Rogen, I mean, he's awesome. And he's doing the movies. Ice Cube is Superfly. That's crazy. It's a crazy cast. Jackie Chan is Splinter, so it's awesome. I wrote this down and I do not know what this is. I think when I transferred the notes over here to my laptop, it got all messed up. Trying to remember. We'll just pass on it.
Okay.
Going on to the next segment, or not segment, next topic. Omni-Man, you brought this up. Omni-Man, Homelander, and Peacemaker are going to be playable characters in Mortal Kombat 1.
Yep. And sorry for jumping the gun on that one, bro.
No, you're good.
Just the conversation and everything.
No, I got you.
And I love video games too, so like I'm so stoked for that. And I think honestly, shoot, we can add this in to one of our other segments, but Homelander, Omni-Man, bro. Like, dude, that's gonna be just, you already know, first two characters that are like being played on that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not good at fighting games. I had Injustice. I just stopped playing it because I'm really bad at fighting games. You like fighting games?
I like fighting games. I'm decent at them, but I'm definitely not like great.
Are you gonna get Mortal Kombat 1?
I probably will get it just for Homelander. Omni-Man.
Sign up for the Patreon. You'll see me and Danny go against each other as Omni-Man and Homelander.
Yep.
Only now, maybe Peacemaker. Who knows?
On the new PS5.
On the new PS5. You're trying to get me in trouble, aren't you? You're going to like this one, I think. I think this is news that just speaks to you. Thomas Hayden Church. Do you know who that is? Played a certain character in a recent movie that you said was only good because of nostalgia. Spider-Man No Way Home. He plays Sandman.
Yep.
Thomas has said that he has heard rumors about Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire making a Spider-Man 4, and he wants to be a part of it.
Yep, I actually saw that this morning on TikTok and was completely blown away by it, and I like it. I like that idea.
Give Andrew his third movie.
The only thing that I'm worried about is that it's not going to be like the old movies because it's being filmed so like recently, and those were what, like 2000?
Early 2000s, yeah.
Like, it's going to have a very different vibe to it. TASM 2 or TASM 3 can be like filmed now because it's like more edgy. It's in a modern time, but like that was just so far back.
I don't like Sam Raimi. I've spoken my hatred towards his movies. I just don't like the close up on the eyes, No, don't give me Sam Raimi. My whole thing with this movie, if it's anything like Multiverse of Madness, I'm going to be disappointed, just like I was for that movie.
You showed me Multiverse of Madness, and terrible movie.
Sam Raimi, everyone. I'm not going to clap into the mic, but clap it up for Sam Raimi. Last bit of news. It's a bit of a short week. Besides the trailers, we haven't had too much news. Besides us, literally right before filming this, they released the Loki Season 2 poster.
Yep.
I'm super excited for that show.
On our TikToks, _ cosmic _ commander.
KiwiJuice TV. All right. Going into the next next topic. The Arrowverse co-creator. So that's Flash, Supergirl, CW shows. Mark Guggenheim, he talked about the MCU. And he says, if they do what I expect them to do, they will end up pruning the tree, which basically means he thinks the MCU is going nowhere good. They're going to have to reboot the whole thing.
I kind of agree. because essentially what they started off with is already almost gone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone from like base, which I think is good because in a way because it shows we're progressing through, but also it's very hard because like the timeline that they kind of started in just was like middle like of like everything going on for each individual character. So like it kind of like, well, you can't really do past now. I mean, you can, but they're adding too much variables to it that it feels like it's going to come to a climax pretty soon, and then eventually I think restart.
I just think they have so much they could do. They have so many characters they haven't dove into yet. So many Marvel characters that haven't gotten the spotlight yet. Obviously, they've done kind of the main ones, and they can kind of keep Spider-Man for how long they want to keep him. He's the main face of Marvel.
I just think the problem they have is that they focus on the Avengers a little too long.
Okay. Yeah, and they're going to continue doing that. I mean, they're still making Avengers movies. You have Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars coming out. I am just going to say, why are we taking the word from the guy who created The Flash, who started off good?
So good.
And went
so far downhill.
It's just to the ridiculous point. Like, that show is just terrible. The end. Arrow, it started really good, kind of just went mid and stayed mid for a while. Supergirl, it's been down here the whole time.
I kind of liked Supergirl, like the beginning season, like the first season.
Uh-huh.
Well, your Martian being on to, bro.
Yeah, that's cool. DC guy, Marvel guy. That's just Legends of Tomorrow down here. But it's not mid. It's in that like it's middle tier. Yeah, it's okay.
Mid. Yeah,
it's right there, I would say. But that's the guy that created these shows, and he is ranting on the MCU. Obviously, if I'm mistaken his word, that's on me. But from what I'm getting from it is, I don't know what.
Just going downhill.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he has room.
I can agree to a sense, but at the same time, stop being a hypocrite.
I don't think he has room to talk. That's all I'm going to say. That's it for my news. We did talk about how Secret Invasion has just ended, so I think we just jump straight into our review of that. Non-spoiler right now. We'll kind of talk spoilers towards the end of this podcast. But I think we just count down. We have different rankings. We have just a 1 through 5. 1 being garbage, 2 being bad, 3 being mid, 4 being pretty good, okay, good tier, and then we're just gonna say good for that one. And 5 being masterpiece. We're just gonna count down and give our one-word answer for that. So do you have yours?
Yes. Count down from 3.
Count down from 3.
All right, 3,
2, 1, 4. Good. Yes. Awesome. I didn't know if you were gonna be on the same page with me there.
I think it's good. See, because I actually was kind of stuck between mid and good.
I'm right there. So I think this show was so good until the finale.
Yeah. So without telling any spoilers, and if we say any spoilers, it'll be bleeped out.
Yeah.
You kind of still have that like, oh, they said a spoiler.
Yeah.
Retention rate. But I think it started off like it had so much potential.
Mm-hmm.
And then just kind of, see, this kind of goes into, I can't say too much because it kind of goes into one of my hot takes.
So it's just, it started off good. Like it started off to the point where I'm like, oh, this is up there. I'm just going to say it, in my opinion, for how I feel about WandaVision, it got the WandaVision treatment with the finale. The finales are kind of the same in my eyes for that. I mean, that's all that I'll say for that, really. It's a good show. Don't get me wrong. It's a good show.
Good show, and we definitely recommend to watch it.
Yes, it's just not on the level of some other shows, I think. But we'll get into spoilers at the end of the podcast. I think we just go into Bros Become Foes.
Ready.
Going into...
I went first last time, the same minds.
Yeah. So I went first. Then you were like, I have a character that's pretty good that might go against you. So you're going first this time. But first off, this is the segment where we pick a random fictional character. They go head to head, and you guys at home decided. I'm going to say on Spotify, the poll, I won 2-1. So,
well, because I voted for myself.
And I voted for myself. So someone else voted whoever voted for me. Thank you for letting me win last week.
Dude, that was probably, you know what? That was my friend on Call of Duty. I recommended to him the podcast, and he was probably the other person that listened to it on there.
So, if you're listening on Spotify, there's a poll where you can take to choose who wins this segment. And if you go to our Patreon and you sign up for our Patreon, you basically get 5 votes into this segment. So, honestly, you're going to be picking our winner at this level that we're at right now. But Besides that, go ahead first. Who is your fictional character?
I am doing comic book
Okay.
Black Panther.
Okay. Comic book Black Panther.
Well, I'm just doing Black Panther in general.
Okay.
So if I need to defend myself, I can pull.
So just Black Panther
Yes.
versus Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ooh.
Comes down to, does a lightsaber cut through vibranium?
Which is like, that question will never be, like,
we will never know.
although Disney owns both of them, so.
Although lightsabers don't cut through Beskar in the Star Wars universe, is Beskar like their where's that level?
What if Star Wars is one of the verses, one of the?
I just think, obviously.
That'd be really hard though.
I mean, I guess he's not weak-minded. I was just gonna say, like, you will take off your vibranium suits. And just he's not weak-minded. It's not gonna happen. He's one of like the strongest-minded people. Yeah.
I think what's really, I still want to say Black Panther wins.
Yeah.
Because if he has a suit from the movie that absorbs and he can put it back out, what if the Force is used on him? What is like the power of the Force? Can he reverberate it?
That's a good point. And then a lightsaber just cuts through the half of him.
As like, as Obi-Wan's like getting destroyed by his Force.
And uses the Force and cuts him in half with a lightsaber. So
Jalo breaks.
You decide.
He breaks a lightsaber.
You decide. Or who wins that? Obi-Wan Kenobi or Black Panther?
Where are they fighting?
Wherever I say they're fighting. Wherever you want them to fight. They can fight for underwater, all I care about. Obi-Wan still comes out with the win.
Black Panther wins.
Obi-Wan Kenobi wins. We'll jump right into trivia now. Last week, Danny questioned my MCU knowledge.
You got 5.
I got all 5 right. How it works is if we miss 3 out of 5, you guys at home get to pick the challenge. That is also on our Patreon, though. So if you haven't joined our Patreon, I mean, I'm giving you so many opportunities to join our Patreon right now. Join our Patreon. We're actually
Superhero Bro Show.
Superhero Bro Show on Patreon. You get to choose a challenge if he misses 3 out of 5 of these. So
and then until we get some people on Patreon, we'll choose it for ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Obviously, once we get one person on there, if they pick the craziest challenge, it's not going to happen. But if they're reasonable, if whoever gets on there first, I think it's fair. It's a $4 tier, and you get that for a month, and you get all access to our Patreon. So we haven't posted anything because we don't have any people on that yet. But once we get people on there, we'll start posting on there.
Patreon, Superhero Bro Show.
Yes. We'll plug it to our death. The trivia category, going into Marvel and DC comics for you today. I've told you kind of it's Spider-Man, Superman, and Batman with this one, really. And they're all true or false starting off these first few weeks. Obviously, they'll get harder as time progresses. But we're going to start it off. True or false, Spider-Man in the comics has organic web shooters. They come out of his wrist.
Yeah, because... Wait, I'm trying to think.
Does he create his own web shooters, or does it come out of his skin?
It comes out of his skin, right?
We're starting off 0-1.
What?
Sam Raimi started that with his movies because I think it was like he didn't know that he had web shooters. Spider-Man has always had web shooters he's attached to his wrist.
Oh, it's good.
Being a Toby fan, I guess he got mistaken with that.
It's not looking good. Well, I couldn't remember because it's just been a while since I've gone back, and it's like, honestly, the oldest piece of Spider-Man content I've probably seen recently is Toby.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's fair.
Dang. All right.
We're starting off with 1. Basically,
I only have one more miss.
You only have one more miss. Spider-Man again. Miles Morales is from the 616 universe.
No, because MCU is 616. Although the actress that plays in Miss Marvel says it's not the 616.
9999 is the MCU universe. 616 is the main comics universe.
I thought...
So go with that. You will. 616 is where the comics Peter Parker comes from. You know what? Ain't too much. You decide. Is it true or false? Miles Morales is from the 616 universe.
Time limit on. Gosh, dude, it's been too long. No, he's not.
That is correct. He is not from the 616 universe. I think it's like 1610 is his number in the comics.
Yeah, that was probably what was getting me.
No, yeah, it's a different universe. Green Goblin looks different. It's a totally different universe. So yeah, it's not 616. So you're good so far. Next up, Superman has more than one weakness besides kryptonite. True or false? Only kryptonite to you?
It started like in the original comics. That's what it started out as, was kryptonite, right? Not fire, because that's the
Martian Manhunter.
Or are you counting multiple different kinds of kryptonite? There's different kinds of kryptonite.
Superman has more than one weakness besides green kryptonite. True or false?
Yeah. Besides green kryptonite, yes.
It's true, but the other kryptonites don't affect him. Green's the one that weakens him. The rest are fine. I'm talking about the red sun. Beside the yellow sun, the sun we have in our universe gives him power.
Oh, yeah, because
the red sun drains his power. So, but you still...
But I got that right?
You got it right, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's the red sun.
I was thinking about the kryptonites. I didn't realize...
You can even go into Lois Lane as a weakness. I mean, you saw what happened in the Injustice comics.
Yeah.
So, you can go into that technicality, too. Also, Superman. Superman first appeared in Action Comics #1. True or false?
True.
It's true. I mean, he did it. He made it through. He got 3 out of 5 right. We're good, but we're going to get into this last question. In the Flashpoint paradox, Bruce dies and his dad becomes Batman and mom becomes the Joker. True or false?
Say that one more time.
In the Flashpoint paradox, Bruce Wayne dies and his dad becomes Batman and his mom becomes the Joker.
Wait, actually, yeah, because he gets sent into that multiverse, and then he's trying to get his powers back, and so he straps him onto the
Thomas Wayne, and then his mom becomes the Joker in that universe after Bruce dies. She goes crazy.
Well, bro, that brought that out like from the deepest parts. Bro, I haven't read that comic in a long time, but I love that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. All right, 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. You're good. You missed the Spider-Man with organic web shooters because you're a Toby fanboy, but
hey, nothing wrong with that.
Something wrong with that, but
you decide. Patreon superhero show.
Plugs it again. We're gonna do top 5. Last week we did Spider-Verse variants.
Yeah.
We have to talk about this because I mean we got called pedophiles in some comments for this.
Yeah.
Pixar movies. I always said A Bug's Life is a terrible movie. You said Toy Story 4 is a terrible movie. So we're doing our top 5 Pixar movies. We're going to get into what we like, what we don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Did I start it off last week? I
started off.
You started off? Okay, so I'll start off this week.
We're going 5 up, right? So 1 being like the best one.
1 being the best, 5 being the worst. Yep. So 5, well, obviously not the worst because it's still a good movie. Number 5 is WALL-E for me.
I had WALL-E as my number 5.
Yep. We're at the same. WALL-E, number 5. It's a good movie.
It's a really good movie. It's just, and I was thinking about it, it's just not top like 4 for me. Like, it's so nostalgic because I remember growing up on that one. And plus, as you watch future Pixar movies, you realize all of like the Easter eggs and everything through WALL-E.
It's one of the best love stories ever in media. Yeah. And it's like you're watching 2 robots fall in love. It sounded just like him. That's crazy. You sounded just like wow. Maybe for Halloween we'll cosplay as Eve. No, I'm not.
Patreon, this superhero.
No, we're so promise them that. What's your number 4?
Okay, my number 4 is Incredibles.
Okay.
Once again, super nostalgic. Honestly, pretty good sequel. But I'm doing Incredibles 1.
Incredibles 1. Okay.
The sequel is pretty good. It's a sequel. You can't really put like sequels in the. I mean, it depends, but yeah, Incredibles is my number 4.
So I personally never grew up with the Incredibles. It just wasn't what I really grew up watching, which is kind of crazy because it's a superhero cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, so you feel like that would be totally me. I don't know I think it was like if I remember correctly, the drone scene in the lava freaked me out as a kid, so I just never watched that as a kid.
Bug's Life and then lava and the drones.
I just wasn't interested in that movie too much, but I think it was 6 for me. Like that would be right below my list. But my number 4 is Ratatouille.
I can see that.
Remy, I mean, I didn't really care for this movie until more recently. It's my girlfriend's favorite Pixar movie, so she is always putting it on, and I've kind of just grown. It's a pretty movie to look at. The food looks delicious in every scene.
Yeah.
Remy it's just a cool concept
And
of a
still,
movie.
it's pretty impressive animation for how early it is too.
It's just, I don't know. It's just a well-rounded, I think, movie, and it tells a cool story that's something that you feel like you would never heard of unless it came from like a Pixar movie. So that's my number 4. My number 3, going into Monsters, Inc. I really like this movie. I grew up with this one. Mike Wazowski, Sully, the whole story, all of it is just something that I've always been interested in. Even growing up, Monsters, Inc. was always an awesome movie. I'd go watch the yellow snow cones, everything, everything about that movie was just, it's one of my favorite Pixar movies. That's all I can say for that one, really. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Toy Story.
The first one?
Yes.
Okay.
I was thinking about it because my top 3, well, actually, my first one was like couldn't be moved at all. Like that was like the one I just knew immediately. My 2 and 3 could be moved. Actually, I think I should say my 2 right after this because I think it connects well. But Toy Story, probably one of the first Pixar movies that I really fell in love with because, but I'm not the biggest fan of it because of where it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Toy Story 1's another one that's right below my 5.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that freaked me out as a kid with that 5 baby spider.
Sid.
Sid was scary to look at too, yes. But I don't know. I was a scaredy cat little kid, and certain animations just freaked me out where I wouldn't watch them. So it's right below there. As a grown up now, it's right below there. It's just not in my top 5 personally, just from my enjoyment. But you said it connects good with your number 2, so do you want to go and say that?
Well, mine number 2 connects good with your number 3 because I have Monsters, Inc. as my number 2. That's why they were so close to move for me. Was because that was another one that I just absolutely loved. I don't know how if you're scared of Toy Story, how you're not scared of Monsters, Inc.
The monsters are like comedians now.
But what was the first goal?
The first scene in Monsters, Inc.
Oh, yeah.
Before it becomes like a comedy where he lands on the jacks on the floor and stuff in his butt. Before that, like where he's coming up to the bed with all his tentacles coming. No, absolutely not. Skip past that scene.
The Abominable Snowman.
He's great.
Yeah, I
yellow snow cones. I wanted yellow snow cones as a kid. I still want yellow snow cones. I don't know they're lemon flavor, but that's what he's saying at least.
You're on the superhero show.
A cooking tutorial on how to make yellow snow cones. Number 2 for me is a movie that I grew up watching on repeat. You can ask my parents. It was always on the TV at me as like an infant kid, just amazed by this movie, Finding Nemo. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite Pixar movies. Besides number 1, of course. It's just number 1 I watched. I'm like, this is one of the best animated movies I've ever watched. But number 2 is Finding Nemo. The animation's great. Seeing fish in the ocean. The story's awesome. I love Nemo, Marlin, Dory. They're all great characters. Shark bait. Ooh-ah. I mean, it's iconic. It's one of those iconic movies. What?
Finding Nemo is absolute dog trash. It is a terrible movie.
I hate you. No.
It is a terrible movie.
No, I'll let you get away with Jared Leto as Joker, but you're not going to say Finding Nemo is a bad movie.
I hated Finding Nemo.
No.
Well, it's because I have a fear of oceans, but
I'm a fear of goldfish or clownfish. Sorry. Can't watch that movie. No.
I like certain aspects to it, but I just can't, I like going to the river and stuff, but I can't go to the ocean because it just scares the ever-living crud out of me.
It's a cartoon.
It's still scary, bro. Like when he was like, oh, we're going to be your friends, and then he just sniffs a little blood, and then all of a sudden he's like, and then he starts chasing after him.
So did you like The Little Mermaid?
I hated The Little Mermaid.
Okay. That's fair.
Little Mermaid.
It's fair. Nemo is a great movie. We're going to be on that.
Okay, I'll say this. I like it for anything besides the whole story.
I like it besides the whole movie. Everything besides the movie is fantastic.
All right, so my number one is Cars. It was the one movie that my dad showed me that always got me quiet because I have ADHD. So it was always the one movie that I could like focus on, watch, and I just absolutely loved it.
My number one didn't make your list. I guess your number one didn't make my list either. It's another. Cars is another one that's right there, below it. It's one of those, like, I don't know. It's just obviously I love that movie. It's just these ones are just, as a movie, I just wasn't too invested in the story, I guess. Lightning McQueen is so unlikable in that movie until the very end. Like, it's almost unwatched because he's just such.
I actually liked it. I liked him right before. Right, like kind of right before he like learns like the message of the movie, because he was also like he loved where he was at.
Yeah,
it was just kind of like that back voice that was like
at the beginning he was
appreciate.
Yeah, at the beginning he was such a dick. He was just
for sure
to everyone, everything around him. He was just this cocky. Like obviously he's gotten better, but in the second movie he was just like so pissed off towards Mater. Like that, this character like learned nothing from the first movie about friendship or nothing, because in the second movie it just gets all thrown out the window.
Cars 2 is amazing. All right, what's your number one?
Toy Story 3.
Really?
The movie is the best Toy Story movie.
I actually, and I can say this with full confidence, like like a lot of confidence. Okay, I absolutely hate Toy Story 4 because it was so unnecessary.
Yeah, obviously, but the third one.
So Toy Story 3 for me is like still a super hard watch, and like if we were to give it to like the 1 through 5 scale, I'd probably say mid to like not good.
The 10.
No, it's not.
It's the best Pixar movie.
No, it's not.
It's okay. You don't like the Guardians because you don't like splitting up. Andy splitting up the toys is a great ending. Realizing he's mature, he's grown, he has to give them up. Or is unnecessary. It should have ended with Bonnie getting the toys and the toys watching Andy drive away. That's the perfect conclusion. That's like Guardians 3. It's a perfect conclude.
Toy Story. I probably hate Toy Story 3 because I'm in that like stage of life right now. But
I'm leaving my toys behind. I mean, I got Funko Pops. I still collect toys.
Comic books everywhere.
Yeah.
I just
no.
Toy Story 3 for me, it's just not great. It's like I feel like it could have gone. I mean, it's okay. It's good. Okay, I'll say it's mid. I won't say it's. I just can't put it on good. I'll say maybe to like top 15 for me.
Okay. Well, we had that discussion. Toy Story 3 is the best Pixar movie.
No,
we're gonna go into this or that next. I want to hear yours first. This is the segment where we just give two things. It kind of actually a lot of our clips did good on TikTok with this segment here. We did like Taylor versus Kanye, just random stuff like that. But we'll let you go first.
Super sandwich.
Sandwich?
Soup or sandwich?
Oh, super sandwich. Sandwich.
Soup or sandwich.
Yeah, I thought you said super sandwich. I'm like, okay, and what else? I thought you were giving like a Subway item or something.
On the Superhero Show.
Sandwich. Soup is no. I don't like hot liquid. I'm like.
Neither do I. Honestly, I was thinking about it because I was really hungry earlier.
Yeah.
And we had like some stew. It was like a.
Don't get me wrong. Sometimes some potato bacon soup slaps.
The only soup I like is like the cheddar bread bowl from Panera.
Okay.
And then I get like extra bread too.
Because you like sandwich. So sandwich for mine.
Yeah, sandwich for me though.
Okay. All right, let's throw that. Danny or an ice chest?
What? Do I choose myself or an ice chest?
I mean, you can honestly pick who would win in a fight because I pick ice chest.
Oh no. You're gonna have to edit it and like have the clip right here.
Yeah. Danny got stuck in an ice chest when we were filming a school project.
Yeah, when I was a sophomore in high school.
Yep.
Yeah, that was what, like, dude, how many years? That's like 4 years ago now.
Crazy. I picked ice chest, I think, on this one.
All right, who wins in a fight?
I think the ice chest just trapped.
Charity round.
I mean, honestly, Patreon, we'll stick them back in an ice chest.
That'll be my first punishment if I don't get 3 out of 5.
Get thrown back in an ice chest. Yeah, cut to the clip where I'm literally trying to pull him out of the ice chest. Yeah. Sorry, Spotify listeners, you don't get that. Go to the YouTube to watch it. Yep.
Or Patreon, the Superhero Bro Show.
I know.
So
There's
many.
like 20 already of you saying that. Next, this or that.
Oh, for me?
I'll go.
Okay.
Infinity War or Endgame?
Infinity War.
I agree. I think nostalgia-based Endgame.
Yeah.
As a movie, like, I can watch Infinity War more than I think I can watch Endgame. I don't know.
And also, I'll probably like, because we talked about this last podcast, Brian doesn't really cry during movies.
Mm-hmm.
I cry a lot during like movies, and dude, that watching Endgame over and over and over again would just make me so sad.
Yeah.
Because Infinity War, like, and now that I've watched Endgame, I know that they're all coming back, and like, I know.
The thing with the Endgame though is that scene. It's just the scene alone, the portal scene.
Oh yeah,
That's one of the best scenes I think ever.
I'll say that's one of the best like battle scenes entire MCU.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the best.
Avengers assemble. Oh
Yeah,
I know they're all charged. It's awesome. It's a great scene. That's why I just think, yeah, it's just a great. I mean, they're both really great movies, but I'd have to pick Infinity War too. I think.
And honestly, the fact that if my favorite character at this point in time could have just separated his emotions for like 2 seconds, Endgame wouldn't have even happened.
Who knows what they had to? There's only one possibility of them winning, so Star-Lord had to do that. He had to attack Thanos there. That's why you don't think Doctor Strange could have stopped Star-Lord if he really wanted to. He could have,
but like
it had to have happened for everything else to play out in Endgame.
Once you get into that, it's like I think there's different ways.
Yeah, you think Doctor Strange is lying?
I think there was another way.
Yeah, there's something.
But I think it was like too permanent for that way to win.
Yeah.
Like, I think one of the other ways would have been like all Infinity Stones. But like, at least in the MCU, obviously there's different ways, and yeah.
It destroyed the Mind Stone, but the Time Stone brought it back. They figured out a way to keep the Time Stone from Thanos. I don't think he could have won.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
And he could stick Thanos in an infinite loop.
Keep him in the mirror dimension, something like that. But he has the Reality Stone, so who knows? But what's your next one?
My next this or that. Let's see real quick. Dine-in or delivery?
That's a hard one. Because I like both. Like,
yeah,
I'd have to say dine-in just because you get it fresh.
Yeah,
delivery, it's not. Sometimes it comes cold. DoorDash takes forever. Sometimes they get lost. When I lived in an apartment,
oh my gosh,
your food. Get a phone call.
Yeah, get a phone call.
You never got your food.
Yeah,
simple as that. So it's like, I think I just have to pick dine-in. I don't like going out as much as I do like staying home. I'm just a homebody. But I would just have to, if I want good, fresh food, I go for a dine-in.
Mm-hmm. Personally, because I like going out, but I just prefer so much being able to sit on my couch and then there'd be a knock at my door and be like, hey, everything's...
Third category, pick up. Go pick up the food and bring it home.
See, but then here's my thought process. When I see those three options where it's like dine-in, pick up, or delivery, for the pickup option, I'm like, if I'm driving there to go pick it up, I might as well just like eat there.
Okay.
And I don't really want to drive there, so
I see it. I did DoorDash for a little bit, so I see it as just like a delivery minus the tip.
True.
Don't sexualize that, please. My third category, I think I'll know your pick for this one. I'm just curious to see because it could also go into what you like watching more too. Baseball or basketball? Baseball. I figured that would be what your pick was.
Just because I played basketball for like a couple of years. But I played baseball my entire life.
Yeah.
And I don't watch it as much as I would want to, as I want to. But definitely if I had the choice, I would pick baseball.
Yeah. That's such a hard one. I'd probably go basketball just because I like watching basketball more. Sometimes watching baseball games
can get slow.
Very slow.
With all like the new, which this kind of delves off a little bit, but like all the new rules they've brought in, it's like completely changed the game. And the pace of it's so much quicker. Like sometimes when I'm watching it, I'm just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You used to be able to sit there for like 4 or 5 hours and just watch one game.
I'm supposed to be coaching. I work at a middle school. That's my other job. I'm a teacher. I teach film and broadcasting. I'm supposed to be the basketball coach there this year. So
Hey,
that's another thing going on top of 3 jobs and
assistant Danny.
assistant. I'm supposed to have my brother and my dad come in assistant because I've never been a head coach before. I've been assistant coaches before, but I haven't had that head coach. So I'd like them to come in as assistants and teach me.
Well, like I just said, I played basketball for like 2 years in middle school. So
You're looking for a baseball coach.
really,
That's off the podcast.
okay.
That's another thing. Hot takes. Or no, you haven't given your last third, huh?
Nope.
Third. Okay, what's your third, this or that?
I know my answer.
Okay.
I might know your answer, but yours like so on and off with that both. TV shows or movies? I can start off and say for mine it's movies.
I agree. I think it's movies.
Because for TV shows, the reason why I love movies is because I can sit down. I know besides Spider, but
I hate you.
I can sit down and watch a movie. No, it'll probably be like at max like 2.5 hours, 3 hours maybe. And then like one of my favorite movies, Suicide Squad. Yeah. But I know I can sit down and watch a movie, and if I don't like it, I'll know after that certain period of time.
Yeah.
TV shows
Filler episodes.
start off so strong,
Filler episodes.
and then you get into like season 2, season 3,
Filler episodes.
talking about the Flash.
Filler episodes.
We're just trash.
Flash literally became a show full of only filler episodes.
Yeah.
It's
like the finale filler episode.
finale filler episode is ridiculous. Or just the stupid story in general is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it started off so the Flash season 1, and like when they kind of started bringing in like Supergirl and stuff, it was like still okay. Like one of my favorite episodes is like the musical episode.
Yeah, that's fun.
Like love that one.
You can't get
I'm
past
your
season 4.
super friend. Like,
In fact, you know the song is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, yeah, I listen to that song so much.
Just in your playlist.
Yeah.
CW song in your playlist. No. That show after season 4, you can't watch The Flash.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Same thing with like the Arrow. Personally, I just really couldn't get past like the first couple seasons. Once again, so good. After that, couldn't really watch it.
Yeah, I get you.
Same thing with
It's just the CW show curse.
yeah, because my favorite CW show was Legends
Okay.
for like a minute, and then it just went nowhere.
Yeah, it's just kind of characters I never cared about seeing more of, and they.
But I like
put
when
them
they
all
did
together.
it.
I like Firestorm. That was a character I was interested in. They brought him in. Besides that, I mean, Captain Cold maybe, but besides, I didn't care for any of the characters.
Did he make him gay? Didn't they make him gay?
sure.
I'm pretty sure they made him gay in that.
I'm not sure.
Character development, cool.
I
But
think the actor is too, actually.
is he?
I saw, yes, because I play Valorant. I saw a clip where some guy had his name from Prison Break in there, and he was being really homophobic in the Valorant game. And the person was like, the person was like, the character that you're like named after in your game is off of a gay guy, right? He just went silent for the rest of the game. There was nothing coming from him. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. Hot takes.
You can start off this time.
Okay. Spider-Man Far From Home is better than all the Tobey Maguire movies.
And it's so just wrong.
Mysterio is a great villain. Tom Holland is a great character as Spider-Man in that movie.
Villain, I don't know if I could say that, but because
As a Swiftie, Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm just kidding. I'm not going that level.
that is a just terrible ache. Terrible.
Well, you said
take.
Toy Story 3 is not a good movie, so I mean,
Toy Story 3 is not a good movie.
Toy Story 3 is a good movie.
It's not.
It is.
But wait, so you're saying Far From Home is better than every Tobey Maguire?
The only one that comes close as a movie as a whole, I obviously said Spider-Man 3 is the most enjoyable out of the Tobey movies.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 1 is close, but no.
I was going to say
Spider-Man 1.
I'm just so taken aback. Like, I just can't agree with that at all. Like, at all. Like, it's just, now I know how you felt last week.
Yeah, Tobey movies.
Okay. I have one that's just going to absolutely, actually, I'm going to say that one for last.
Okay, what's your first?
Wakanda Forever is in my top 3 favorite MCU movies.
Wakanda Forever, top 3 all-time MCU movies?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Literally, like I said, I know it's not like the hottest take, which is why I listed it first, but I know it can be a hot take because that movie got so mixed reception because of, I mean, if you look at my TikTok account, the _cosmic_commander.
Patreon.com.
The superhero bro show. If you do see one of my TikToks that I posted on there, like with Chadwick Boseman, unfortunately passing, I just think for me it held so much like emotion. And I'm our top 3 listed here actually.
Okay.
So my number 3, Wakanda Forever. Number 2, Age of Ultron. Number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
Number 2 should have been your hot take. What? No. No.
I love Age of Ultron.
You're wrong. It's number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
No, Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
The third one's better.
First one's better.
The third one's better.
The first one is miles better than Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
The second one is The Winter Soldier. The third one is No Way Home.
No. No Way Home's only good because in this.
No, we're not doing this again. We're not doing this again this week.
I love
Age of Ultron number 2?
Yes.
It's not even the best Avengers movie.
It's debatable.
Huh?
It's
Infinity War, Endgame, Avengers. It's the worst Avengers movie. Doesn't mean I actually like Age of Ultron. Ultron's my favorite comic villain.
I love Age of Ultron.
But
it's obviously my favorite Avengers movie.
Wow. Okay.
But Guardians of the Galaxy, for me, the first one, the reason why it's my number 1 is because it holds a lot of sentimental value. My dad always travels for business, and when it came out, it was on my birthday, and that was like one time he was in town.
It's a great movie too.
So
I mean, Guardians, I understand. The other 2 though, yeah, it's all right. Hot take going into Secret Invasion. Gravik is a top 5 MCU villain.
Yeah, I actually could agree with that.
Dude, okay, so obviously,
minor spoilers.
Just the dialogue.
Yeah.
Him and Fury in that last episode. Well, him and Fury, we'll say that. In that last episode.
Yeah.
Dude, he is menacing. Like, that actor is great. I want to see him in more stuff.
Yeah, I think. Well, it's because I think that's one of the things the MCU has always struggled with is villains a little bit.
We got 2 great ones this year. High Evolutionary and Gravik.
Yeah.
And we might even get more in Kang. Kang's up there too. He was a great villain. It's just a bad movie. He's a great
bad movie, and the movie overshadows that, unfortunately. Which is why I'm excited we kept him.
I think before Endgame, they had a villain struggle. After Endgame, honestly, we've gotten some great villains. Even a movie that I despise, Multiverse of Madness. Wanda is a great villain. Yeah. I actually dive into that in my next hot take.
Yeah, I'll wait to make my comments on that.
Okay, but Gravik is a top 5 MCU villain. He was great. The actor was great. He was a great character, a great villain. He's menacing. He's like just a menacing character in the show. So yeah, he's in the top 5 for me. I think it's like Thanos, High Evolutionary, Gravik. I like Arthur Harrow and Moon Knight. I think his like morals. He's like, you understand where he's coming from and stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. I'd have to actually like make a list for you. I didn't do that like you did with your top 3, but he's in the top 5, I think.
Ben Affleck's Batman was terrible. I absolutely hated his Batman more than like anything.
Okay.
I actually think a lot of people would agree with me. It's just very I'm Batman. Like it doesn't feel.
Christian Bale's worse.
No. What? No way. That should be one of your hot takes.
Christian Bale's worse than
No, he's not. No.
I
like that way better than that.
I'll give you the. Wait, why did you say that name? Why did you say that?
She's my mom.
She's my mom.
Then he's like imagine he has like little devils on each shoulder, like kill him.
Robert Pattinson.
What?
Robert Pattinson was a great Batman.
He's your number 1 Batman ever?
Michael Keaton are close. But yes, Robert Pattinson is my 1.
Christian Bale.
No, you're saying he's 1?
Yes. For me, yeah.
He's a great Bruce Wayne, but he is not a Batman.
is a great Bruce Wayne, so he is a great Batman.
The Robert Pattinson's a terrible Bruce Wayne, but a great Batman.
Robert Pattinson just did shit in that movie. I did not like that movie.
We're going to be on Batman forever. My next hot take, Wanda's character has been ruined with the Multiverse of Madness.
That is not even a hot take because I completely agree with that.
Well, Wanda stands will disagree. No. What are her arc in WandaVision was about understanding.
It had so much potential. So, like, when I say Multiverse of Madness was, like, one of my most hyped movies,
Me too.
and I was so excited for because I loved WandaVision so much. Don't get me wrong. There's bits and pieces that are like, well, that's cool. But never once during that entire movie was like, I love this movie.
Yeah.
And she's
a great villain. Elizabeth Olsen kills it. She's a great villain, but what to her character, it just, obviously she gets corrupted, but why would she even be reading that in the first, obviously she had to read that in the first place. Like, I get it's her moral obligation because she's the Scarlet Witch, but at the end of WandaVision, you go into it, okay, she's, besides the end credit scene, the Multiverse of Madness writers didn't watch WandaVision.
Yeah.
That's been confirmed. Yeah. So it
just makes no sense.
Yeah. What's your number 3?
Okay, so this one's going to seem like a hot take at first, but once I explain it, I think it'll make a little bit more sense.
See?
Look at the camera.
Oh, we're doing this again. We're doing this again.
James Gunn has effectively ruined the MCU.
I know where you're going with this, so I'm not pissed off at you.
He ruined it.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, he made such a good movie that's what's... Because if you remember, anything before Guardians of the Galaxy, while it had some jokes, but they never really hit, they were more serious and edgy. As soon as Guardians of the Galaxy comes out, there's like copycats of the movie, which I think for me kind of ruins Guardians a little bit. Not the first one, but the second and third for me, is that every other movie has tried to copy exactly what they did.
I will say the second Guardians movie, sometimes the jokes, I guess, first glance are funny, but they're not jokes I can go back and laugh at. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. I can't at the moment. But some of the jokes, I'm using my left eye. Okay.
Which is why I'm worried, because this is kind of like pushing a little bit farther past. I'm worried for what might happen to the DC universe because I don't want to see it happen like that early on.
Mm-hmm. I will say James Gunn, his darker tone in Guardians 3, if that shines in DC, it has.
Because DC's a darker universe in general.
I mean, Deadpool even says, "Well, you're so dark. What are you from the DC?"
Yeah.
So he even admits to it. So, it's a darker universe.
So I think if he does the take of Guardians 3, but doesn't just totally nerf characters, then I think it'll work. You're just gonna be very careful.
Yeah, I agree.
But honestly, that's why I said prefaced. James Gunn, in my personal opinion, has ruined the DC or the MCU. Hopefully not.
How'd he go? Dog came in here panting like crazy.
Patreon, the superhero version.
Yeah, you can have my dog. You can take her.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Going into it, I think we just wrapped this whole thing up with some Secret Invasion spoiler talk.
Wait, did you say your number 1?
Yeah, Wanda's character was ruined in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was your number 1.
I didn't really order them. I just kind of go in order. Obviously, my first one's basically my hottest take. Far from most better than the Toby movies. Secret Invasion spoiler talk. So if you haven't seen Secret Invasion, this is your time to click off the podcast.
Or if you like watching spoilers.
If you like watching spoilers, this is for you too. The finale just dove this thing into the WandaVision treatment. Giant CGI battle in the sky. Not needed whatsoever. Gravik, I will say, is a great villain. He has some dialogue with Fury, and then all of a sudden, you don't hear from him again. He just gets murdered by Gaia.
Yeah.
So, obviously, he's a top 5 villain, but the writing in this show is one of the best, I think, we've had in any of the MCU shows. The quality of writing where Fury's dialogue with other characters, they wrote the show good, and it just seems like for that battle, for that span in this episode, a new writer just stepped in.
Okay. Can I hop back in with one more hot take?
Go ahead.
Because this one was a floater one.
Okay.
That I had about shows, and I wrote this after this show.
Okay.
Look at the camera. MCU shows feel like movies developed but not released because they were too bad as a movie.
Yes.
Which is how I felt about Secret Invasion. as well as personally Miss Marvel.
Some exceptions to that, I think. Loki needs to be a show. We have the cliffhanger episodes.
Yeah, Loki's a good show.
WandaVision's another one because that's supposed to be like different. Every episode's a different sitcom.
Yep.
And my last one is Moon Knight. It could have been a movie.
I think Moon Knight would have been. I love Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight would have been better as a movie.
It can work as a movie, I think, but there's so much story you have to tell with 3 different main characters almost, but 2 in this season that you need to give it episodes. You need to make it longer. But no, yeah, Secret Invasion.
Just right before we went too far into them, I just want to say that because that's immediately how I felt after finishing the show. The reason why I can't go too far into the show is because one, it just really didn't catch my attention, and that's because I felt like a lot of filler, like unnecessary stuff. But end credits. See,
it didn't have one. What did you watch?
We watched the same thing, didn't we?
Yeah. What are you talking about though?
The computer screen. Thor Odin's son.
What are you talking about?
Have you not seen it? You've seen the last episode.
I've seen the last episode, and I skipped to the credits. I didn't see a credits, and I looked it up, and there wasn't supposed to be a poster end credit scene. What do you? Wait, just explain what you're talking about, though.
They're going through because obviously it goes back to, which I loved, by the way. Secret Invasion comics were placed shortly after Civil War, like the Civil War time period, which they brought over because Cheadle, obviously.
Rhodey's been a Skrull since Civil War,
which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it makes sense. Have you seen the clip from Endgame where he's talking to Nebula and is like, "We've all got our own thing," and it makes sense now that obviously we think he's talking about his legs,
but it makes complete sense.
He's a Skrull.
Yeah. So that's cool. What was I even talking about?
You said the end credit scene.
End credits. Yeah. So this, I don't remember. Okay, I'll be honest. I don't remember exactly seeing an end credit scene myself, but when I was scrolling on TikTok, because it's all over my For You page.
Yeah.
I just kept seeing this one scene where they're looking in the end credits. They're looking at a computer of all the possible people that they believe to be Skrulls, and one of the names that pops up that everyone's been talking about is Thor Odin's son. Thor's on there.
I did not see that whatsoever. I'm looking at something right now. It says right here, Secret Invasion doesn't have any credit scenes. I wonder what you're looking at.
I could just find a leak of something or something.
It might have been. I'm not sure. Or some fan something. We'll have to look for it.
Fan thoughts, yeah, because that was one of the main points that I thought.
That's crazy, yeah.
Because they were scrolling. There was, it is played vividly. I don't know why, but they're going through every possible person or whatever.
I know they show up. Are you talking about the scene where all the different superhero powers are being listed in the harvest?
No,
not that scene. Okay, because I know that shows up with when they're giving Gaia and Gravik the powers, but I don't know if
is it. I don't think so.
We'll have to look.
Yeah,
but yeah. Besides that, I mean, it was a bit better than mid.
Okay, it was good, but it's just
I like the spy, thriller, espionage. Winter Soldier is one of my favorite movies. It reminded me a lot about Winter Soldier until that finale. So you're getting Nick Fury as a main character, which is awesome because I like Nick. I think you didn't care.
Yeah, I like Nick
Fury. Okay, so yeah, Nick Fury is a cool character we didn't get to see much of, and we got a lot of him in this show.
Yeah, it's
Talos is another character we got a lot of. Gaia's a new character, and she did great. I like Emilia Clarke. She did great in the show.
Yeah.
The Graviks. I can't preach enough how good of a villain Gravik was in this show.
Yeah.
Almost carried that show, but they just, like I said, the show was well written. Every episode was well written. And then you get to that 6th episode where there's that 30 minutes after Gravik has his dialogue with Fury. It seems like someone else just stepped in and wrote that episode.
Yeah.
It's just the cutting back and forth between the fighting and also Fury with War Machine in the hospital. It was just weird cuts. They were cutting this show up to.
That's for a reason.
It would have been really high on my good tier until that last episode just dropped it down. WandaVision is another one where it was a great thing where we had Wanda as the villain. No, they throw Agatha in there. We have this sitcom story being built.
Oh my gosh. That is the one thing that killed that show for me was Agatha. Don't get me wrong. The song was amazing. Because I remember you and I were
getting her own show.
I remember that, but I'm probably going to watch it. Gosh, yeah. See stuff like that. I don't want to watch, but I probably should watch it.
You have to watch everything. Everything is, which I think they're actually cutting down the amount of like shows and stuff they're putting out. They're focusing on quality because it's getting too much.
It's getting and that's the one thing that I was scared about, and that they said that they promised that they were gonna not do what they did with Multiverse of Madness, and then they did with I'd say Quantumania, what they did with Love and Thunder. Felt super rushed. Gore, wait, right? That's the name.
Mm-hmm. Gore the God Butcher.
He would be one of the top MCU villains
if we saw more.
If we saw more of him, and that movie was directed better. So I'm just hoping that they kind of get off the good tier and can go back to the holy crap, this is one of the best movies that I can now push up to the top of my list.
People forget too, the first few movies, obviously you have Iron Man up there.
Yeah.
But then you forget Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, like it.
Oh, The Incredible Hulk was so bad.
So like it didn't like, and we're in that moment right now where we're building up these characters. I think we're gonna get back to that tier of.
I hope so.
Great movie. I
really hope so.
But Secret Invasion, it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Ending kept it from being really good, but it was good.
Yeah.
Oh, graphics, a great villain. But yeah, I think.
Be interesting to see further like
I
development.
think they're making a season 2. I just from that ending, I got like the president starting stuff. I think they could do season 2 of it.
I saw this one clip. It was funny. It was like an explanation of Secret Invasion, and then it like cuts to the president, and he's like, he absolutely hates scrolls.
It's true. Yeah, but I know obviously if you know anything for what's coming out in Captain America: The New World Order,
I'm not excited.
But hear me out. Ross is going to be the president in that movie. He's the president of the United States. So something's going to happen with this president eventually. Or they just rewrite it. So who knows? I mean, crazy. Rhodey is a Skrull since Civil War. That's the main thing I just got from the show. That just
blows my mind.
And I know they're doing Armor Wars with him as a main character. Show me how he reacts to Tony's death, because he doesn't know Tony's dead. Civil War, the last moment he has with him is Civil War, him getting injured.
Oh.
He doesn't know Tony's dead.
He also he knows that Peter Parker's Spider-Man.
Oh, that's something to play out.
Right?
Did he know? Did Tony tell him that? I'm sure they're friends.
He has to, bro.
There's one person out there that knows that. That's something. Yeah. Peter Parker. Rhodey
probably knows too.
Yeah, Rhodey probably knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Because he's been wiped.
I have to go watch Secret Invasion.
I know.
Second opinion.
That's a good theory. That's a really good
theory.
That
just popped up, bro.
I know. I saw that. I could just tell you. Just right there, and you thought of that.
Patreon the superhero wish.
Hit you one more time before we ended up. Besides that, I think it's good. So this episode, yeah. Next week, I think Ninja Turtles comes out. I think next weekend.
We should go see it together, but different seats.
Yes. See it together, or if we don't see it together, see it around the same time, and then so we have something. We can't talk about it though.
Yep.
We can't talk about it until we're on the podcast together.
We also have you seen Barbenheimer?
I haven't seen either. I just haven't had time to see either. I've been really busy. Have you seen any?
I haven't, but I've seen a lot of like reviews of both.
They're both great, is what I heard.
Both great. Barbie. We'll get into once we see them.
I'm sure we'll watch them when it comes out in digital, and then that's something we can talk about.
I've heard it's not recommended to pull the marathon and watch both.
It's not, yeah, that's why I heard too. You have to watch them because they're totally two different movies. So we'll watch them, and we'll give you our review. Patreon.com/The Superhero Bro Show. Besides that, I think that's it for me. Do you have anything lastly to add?
Honestly, not really. I would like actually to say that we are just doing this just as a hobby. It's something that we like, something that we enjoy to talk about. If you want to come along for the ride, come along. If you don't, that's totally okay.
Yeah.
But we would totally appreciate support on both our TikToks, which I'm sure will be linked below, on YouTube.
And the podcast as a whole. Any support at all, we take. Share it, put it out there.
And honestly, if it doesn't gain like super crazy support, we might just keep doing it because it's just something we enjoy and
have our few followers that we actually have some support. Like, we're excited for the next episode and stuff on the podcast, which is really cool to see. So yeah, it'll be awesome.
Be sick.
Yep. So thank you guys for watching. You want to do the outro too, or like, what do you want to do?
You do the outro.
Okay, I'll do the outro. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Alrighty, peace.